Okay, it's a new day, and it's vlog lapse time. Hey ho guys, good morning. Welcome to the club. Welcome back to the club, Rob. I'm glad to see ya. Yeah, I am doing a vlog lapse this morning. I know the audio levels have been really wonky, especially the last time I did the vlog lapse. As you guys already know, I'm using the Zoom H1, which I think is going to be standard equipment for our gang here. But I'm just having a hard time with the recording levels. I currently have it set at 55. So we'll see if that works any better for us. Slacktive, you use it. What's a good recording load? Have you played around with it that much where you notice different results with different recording levels? I gotta say, this is weird. It was weird the first time I did it. Definitely so this time when I'm just talking into the microphone and I don't have the camera set up. It's odd. It's very odd. But it's free. I enjoy it. It's Wednesday, of course. I'm pretty excited today. It's Ray is coming back to work. She's been out for the last 2 days, and it's been really quiet in the office. And I don't know if it's just because she's been gone, but good Lord, it's ridiculous, and it's very tiresome in that it puts you to sleep. But it's exciting. She'll be back. I think all the news about the bad employee will be officialized today, so that's good. But let's get on point here, and that is Rob. I did watch your video. I liked your video, as in clicking the like button, as well as personally enjoying it. I did not leave any comments, because number one, I knew I was going to be doing this video today, as I usually do, but also because I put it on, I was playing it on the computer while I was, which is off in the other room, turned the volume up, and I was playing it while I was cooking dinner, so I was actually not captive audience. So yeah, that's why I didn't post any comments, but don't worry, I still watched it, still liked it. Your video, the quality, the camera, obviously, congratulations, and it's there. Again, and you know this, the quality is just going to improve as you start using better lights. Some HD tips. Although I think you already were doing this, don't waste your time shooting in 1080p for the internet. I don't think that's worthwhile. I think 720p is more than good enough. Your main focus is getting that HD quality through that lens, and shoot with good light. So you know all of that. Your next step is really to get. I still don't recommend Final Cut X because, and the reason I recommend that is, the ease of the filters. But we've talked about that plenty. But I don't think you just don't have the hardware for it, man. I'm sorry. The computing power to run, I barely have that. Yeah. But anyway, you're onto your main topic, which was, the frustration of realizing what you want to do and how you want to do it, and then realizing you just don't have the manpower for it. Welcome to my world. Yeah, you're gonna find that that's really kind of why we love animation, or why we're fascinated by animation at least, and why we love puppets, and then ultimately why webcams. I'm sure you already appreciate this, but why webcams as a show became a reality. That format. So yeah, I mean, I feel you. I deal with that every single fucking day. Point of order, though, you know, you can do whatever you set your mind to. You know, aside from the actors, I produced that commercial, you know, myself. I had a guy on the mic, but ultimately that was unnecessary because I used all post-recorded audio. I had someone help, you know, just finding the actors and scheduling it, but that was kind of unnecessary too. I mean, I could have done that myself. Point being, you know, that is something that can be accomplished with a one-man production team. Aside from the actors, you do need actors. But I also feel you with the camera work. I've there's a lot. I get bored of the static stuff sometimes because I mean, for the commercial, it was kind of necessary. You don't want to get too. It's not necessary to get too fancy, and certainly wasn't important. It wasn't needed in that commercial. But yeah, I do definitely wish I could be a little bit more creative in my camera work, and I want to be more creative, but it's hard to do it when you're on the other side of when you're in front of the camera. So yeah, I feel you. I wish I had a suggestion, but I really don't. You know, there are groups, you know, anywhere, you know, in the filmmaking groups and what have you. I'm not a big fan of them because I think they defeat the purpose of independent filmmaking. Or maybe that's not their purpose. If you join a club, then it becomes very project-driven, which probably is a good thing, but it's not going to be your project. It might be your project, but chances are not. You're going to work on other people's projects, and when you're working, and you're going to do them their way, and then everything has to come together within this haphazardly slapped together group to put together their project. It was like, you know, that night I first met Tari. We went to the comic book shop down the street from me that has a Geek Easy. It's just a hangout spot for geeks. And they apparently were having an artist-writer club meeting or something. And they were pairing up artists with writers to do comic books. And I'm just like, really? What the... it just seems, as purposeful as that might seem, it seems counterproductive. Because if you were really going to do those things, write a comic book, or draw a comic book, or produce a film, why do you need to go to a club to meet other people to do it? And I know, it's connecting with the talent, blah, 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 blah. But that's the thing, you know? It's a passion, it's drive, and maybe it is more indicative. Maybe it is telly. But, you know, those who want to do something, do it. You know, you don't need to go to a club, and you don't... And that's the only advice I would have for you, my friend Rob, is that if don't get too hung up on the things you can't do. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. You'll figure it out. But also keep, stay creative. Come up with different projects that you are capable of doing. You know, as I'm going, I want to do more camera work, more creative camera work. Granted, I haven't actually done this project yet, but I came up with a concept about a girl that's stuck in her room, and we want to think, and the idea is like, well, why is she actually stuck in her room? Why won't she leave? Is she agoraphobic, which is probably the main thing, but then as the story progresses, we realize, oh, it's the apocalypse, and she actually can't leave her room. And I was going to shoot it, and the idea was to shoot it with Sam using the smoothie cam for the iPhone. This was an idea that I came up with a year ago. So you know, stay creative. If you use what you have to use, and when we talk about, you know, different things we want to do with the camera, shit, look at Slacktive. Look at the shit he does with the camera, and he doesn't have anybody but himself, right? So that's the thing, you know. That's my advice. Don't get too hung up on the things that you can't do. Stay creative in the sense, stay creative and stay inventive. That's my advice. And maybe that's really what the creed means, stay creative. It's not about staying creative and coming up with really cool stories or whatever, but stay creative in the sense that there's always something that can keep us producing. And we just have to, instead, we will obsess over the things that we can't do, or obsess over the things that we need. You know, before yesterday, you needed a camera, so you didn't make any. You stopped making videos until you got a camera. You know, you think you need like a crew of 5 people and actors. Well, that's just gonna obsessing over those things is just gonna keep you from producing anything. You know, stay creative. There are things you can do. There's a lot of things you can do, and if you commit to that, to producing and doing that, then I think you're gonna be that's really the point. So, and I know you're not going to do that. I know you're not going to get obsessive and not do anything. I'm just saying that's what I would do. That's what I see a lot of people do. And, you know, just words of encouragement to just stay creative. Stay creative. So, yeah, I can't wait to see the things you come up with. Because that's, you know, it's part of our creativity, the challenge of being independent filmmakers. Is working with whatever we have at our disposal. I'm still noodling over this idea of how counterproductive film clubs and production clubs are. It's hilarious. I think that's hilarious. I did do that. I mean, I met a guy there, and we worked. I met a guy. We went out to dinner. We worked on a couple of projects together, and we wrote some stuff together, and it was a fun friendship for however long it lasted. Was it productive? Not in the sense through the club, because really all the club provided, it was I wish I could tell you the name of the club, but it is one of those national things, and they have clubs in cities all over. But I only met someone through it. You know, you can do the same through Craigslist. You could do, you know, the funny thing about film or video or production is that everybody wants to do something. So, yeah, I don't think it's, and the problem with the clubs is that, you know, talk about finding that perfect person who has no ambition to do it themselves, so they go to a club. I mean, it's the exact wrong kind of person that you want to work with, if you think about it. And maybe I'm just being overly critical and negative about it, but it makes sense. Because the people who are going to do the projects and stay creative are already doing it. If you want to make a video, go out and do it. Those who don't are creating excuses and going to a club to meet other like-minded people, to do the projects, and, yeah. The other bit of advice I would have for you, Rob, would be to come on down to Orlando. And I'm only, and I'm probably more serious about that than you think. Yeah. Come on down to Orlando. I can't make a lot of promises. You know, we had all this promise of Chris coming, or me coming here to work with Chris, and you see kind of where that ended up. But But yeah, dude, you know I got your back. So there you have it. Selective. I haven't watched yesterday's video. Yesterday was really slow at work. But I don't think you had posted your video yet. It's Wednesday, and I get my iPad on Friday, and I have to tell you guys, I'm really, really ready for it because I'm almost done with Bork 9. I have literally one illustration left to do, and I am done. I was thinking last night, I'll maybe do a couple extras, just like sketches, like black and white, rough sketches. But I'm probably not going to do that because I'm a little lazy, and I've already exceeded, I've already done more than the 10 pages that I had originally anticipated doing. So I have one page left to do. It is actually the last page in the story, in the book. Last night I started putting together what I'm doing with this book is it's going on the iBook store on Apple, and I'm using the iBook Author program to do this, which means, unfortunately, it is iPad only. It is only going to be available in the iPad bookstore. Probably not on a permanent basis. I might eventually the problem is formatting and putting together the actual document, and that's not always. And I haven't done it. I've done the regular books, but I've not done books with pictures. The iBook Author for Apple, it is really, really simple and easy to use, and a very powerful program. And I think it's so effective because it knows it knows it's going to an iPad, whereas, if you're publishing a Kindle book, that could go to a million different devices. So you never quite know the format that it needs to be in, there are much more rigid guidelines for that formatting. Anyway, I know that's kind of frustrating for you guys because no doubt you've seen this project come together, and you've actually literally seen the pictures being drawn. So I apologize on that front, but there is a tactical and tactical reason for publishing only on the iPad. Eventually, yes, I do hope to get it to Kindle or something. But to cover the bases, just like all my other books, I think all of my books, except for the shorts, I will put together a print version. And I know some of us prefer print versions anyways. But yeah, I pretty much need one just to put on my bookshelf, just to say I have it. But obviously still, the iBooks version is going to be the cheaper one. If you have an iPad. If you don't have an iPad, it's going to be a very expensive book. So yeah, I started putting that together last night, putting the actual ebook together, or iBook, as Apple would prefer. And again, it is very easy to use. It's very simple. It's very clean. And one of the interesting things is that this new iBook format for the iPad, Apple really is I think they kind of built it around textbooks, if you followed that announcement at all back in January. But what's interesting is that they really want you to use they absolutely want you to use the iPad in landscape when you're reading, which makes sense. When you think about how you read a regular book, it's opened up and you have the 2 pages at once. But I think what's weird is that when I switched to digital, and you use a Kindle or any other app or on any other device, you kind of get used to this portrait single page reading style. So for Apple to be almost forcing that landscape 2-page style feels awkward, but it feels awkward. But at the same time, looking at how the book actually comes together, it does make more sense. It's a very technical and a technical thing to kind of describe, and probably doesn't make sense considering that whatever part of the vlog Lapse this is on is, anything but that item. But again, I'm really excited about it. It's going to be $3.99, $4.99. That's what I'm going to sell it for. I don't know what the market currently is like. I still have to kind of look at that for children's books or children's fiction. I guess that's an appropriate description on iBooks. So but I feel like this could be the. It's a good fit, and I'm excited. I really, really am excited. I did finish the cover page, the title page of the cover, book cover. I don't know what else to say about that. It's almost there. We're almost there. I probably am going to finish the last page today. And actually, I had the realization, because I don't know. I keep going. Well, I'm fully painting all these pages, but I'm also thinking, well, I might want to do it in black and white. Certainly, and that's even more an issue, even more a consideration for the print version. So one of the options, because it's the iPad and iBooks, the iBook author, just there's so much potential and rich content available to be inserted. So one of the things that I might do is have grayscale chapter illustrations, and what I've already done is added a gallery at the very back, because you can't link to the full screen pictures or look at the pictures full screen with it. I mean, you can pinch it wide. You can pinch it wide as you're reading it, but you can't just tap into it and look at the picture full screen. So I've added a gallery at the end of the book where you can do that. You can tap into the picture and just look at the full screen, look at the illustration full screen. And again, I'm anticipating it looking pretty damn good on that new iPad with that beautiful screen. I've gotten really technical. I'm sorry. I don't know if any of that makes any sense to any of you guys. But that's what's on my mind. That's what I'm going over, and I'm also on the cusp of finishing this book. I'm what am I going to do next? And I need to just roll right over and keep going into something else. And one of the things I was thinking is that what you guys might not know, because this is an old project that was kind of it was shelved. I have Book 9 takes place in the Explorers of the Unknown universe. And it has the character from the very beginning. I wrote a movie. I have a feature-length movie, Explorers of the Unknown movie screenplay. That's what those comics were based on. I don't know if you guys ever read them. I don't know if it's worth reading them right now. But we never got too far into the actual, and all the times I've tried to do the comics, I've never gotten very deep into the actual story. Anyway, I've been wanting to do a major overhaul in the script. It's 120 pages, which is pretty spot on, but a little while ago I was looking at it and I was like, this part is just dead weight. There's just, I want to do a major edit and cut some of the fat out. And now I'm thinking that I might want, and I had started an adaptation where just to novelize it, since all the hard work is done, the story is there on page. You just kind of have to rewrite and convert it. That might be fun to do that, and even strip it down even more. Really, with the intention of same things like Work 9, publish it as a children's book. And this way I have all those wonderful, glorious pictures to illustrate again. That might be kind of cool. So yes, the sky's the limit, but I just have to make a decision on what I actually want to do next. So there you have it. That's my vlog lapse for the day. Talk to you guys later. Stay creative.